What if the most dangerous person in your neighborhood wasn't the shady guy at the end of a street, but the sharp-tongued, 6-foot-tall, 81-year-old woman tending her roses? In 1959, at just 15 years of age, Mabel Waller became the youngest Australian in history to be convicted of murder. That's the sentence that opens a viral documentary called Magnificent Mabel. And the most shocking part? After 66 years of silence, Mabel herself, now living under a fake name on a quiet Melbourne laneway, has finally decided to tell her story. They called it murder. She calls it justice. Welcome back to 15-Minute Book Summaries. Today we're diving into Mad Mabel by New York Times best-selling author Sally Hepworth, a twisty, darkly funny, deeply emotional thriller about female friendship, childhood trauma, justice, and what it really means to be mad. Strap in, because this story has more layers than it appears. Let's go. We meet our narrator, Elsie Mabel Fitzpatrick, at her terrace home on Kenny Lane, a peculiar little cobbled street on the periphery of central Melbourne. She is 81 years old, 6 feet tall, sharp as a razor, and absolutely does not suffer fools. Elsie describes her neighbors with barely concealed contempt. There's Peter across the lane, a 66-year-old Greek man obsessed with all these specials. Joan at number 3, litigious and tight-lipped, who communicates exclusively through notes slid under doors, every one of which name drops that her nephew is a partner in a law firm. Roxanne, a young single mother at number 5, perpetually exhausted. And Roxanne's daughter, Persephone, a 7-year-old Elsie describes as an irritating little despot who, despite herself, keeps worming her way into Elsie's life. Then there's Daphne, Elsie's best friend, always present, always warm, always wearing something magenta. Daphne is the light in Elsie's life. They bicker and laugh and drink tea together every day. The story begins when Elsie notices a newspaper article has been slid under her door, an article that identifies her, not as Elsie Fitzpatrick, reclusive gardener, but as Mabel Waller, Mad Mabel. The book confirms what the article says. Over the course of Mabel's young life, seemingly everyone around her died. And now someone on Kenny Lane knows who she is. Shortly after, Elsie's elderly next-door neighbor Sean, her self-declared nemesis, is found dead. No obvious cause, but then police knock on Elsie's door. Her DNA is under the dead man's fingernails. Her shoe has his DNA on it. She was the one who found the body. Given who she is, she becomes an immediate suspect. This is the structure of the novel. Now chapters follow Elsie at 81, navigating police suspicion, her neighbors, and a documentary film crew. Then chapters travel back to 1950s Melbourne, where we slowly learn the truth of who Mabel Waller really was and whether she truly deserves the name Mad. The then storyline takes us to Rose Hill, a grand estate in 1950s Melbourne that belongs to Mabel's mother's family. Mabel has a difficult, lonely childhood. Her father, Elliot, is cold, domineering, and cruel, the kind of man who looks at his odd, large-framed daughter and sees nothing but disappointment. Her mother is fragile, emotionally absent, and clearly unhappy in the marriage. Mabel is socially ostracized at school, too strange, too intense, too different. She is the child that no one wants as a friend. Then comes the first great tragedy. Mabel's baby sister Kitty dies in a drowning accident. Mabel is nearby when it happens. The guilt and the whispers begin. More tragedy. Mabel, as a young teenager, witnesses her father's affairs. She sees him with a woman named Susan at a party. When she tells her mother what she saw, her mother slaps her across the face and, in a moment of horrifying clarity, walks out onto the balcony and jumps. Mabel's mother is gone, just like that. Now Mabel is a teenager, both parents effectively gone, living at Rose Hill with her mother's sisters, the vivacious, warm-hearted Cess and Ness. These aunts become the closest thing to family she's ever had, and Rose Hill becomes a genuine home for the first time. Here, too, she finally finds a friend. Daphne, funny, loyal, magenta-loving Daphne, arrives in Mabel's life and becomes her oxygen. But the happiness is fragile. Mabel's father is circling. He wants Rosehill. When the will is read, it becomes clear that Mabel, as her mother's oldest child, is the rightful heir. Elliot is furious. He threatens legal action. Cess pushes back brilliantly, citing incontestable legal language, but the battle for the house becomes one of the novel's central tensions. Meanwhile, Mabel becomes entangled in a deeply inappropriate secret relationship with her teacher, Mr. Lucas, an older Greek man who tells her he loves her. It's manipulative, it's wrong, and the novel doesn't romanticize it. For young Mabel, starved of love, the words are like a drug. She keeps it secret even from Daphne. Around the same time, Mabel develops a very different kind of connection with a boy from school, Christos, the Greek boy who becomes her truest love interest. His family owns a fish and chip shop, and his mother disapproves of Mabel because of her reputation. Then a series of accidents and near tragedies pile up around Mabel, each one feeding the narrative that she is dangerous. A boy named Billy is seriously injured at school. Christos hits his head and is kept away from Mabel by his mother. Each incident reinforces the whispers. And through all of it, Mabel's father is working behind the scenes, planting rumors, stoking the fire. Mr. Lucas is found dead. His fiancée, a woman named Tessa, is charged with his murder and confesses. Mabel didn't kill him, but her father makes sure people believe she orchestrated it. A 15-year-old girl. Already the media has a name for her, Mad Mabel. Now we reach the event Mabel was actually convicted of, the murder of her father. The night of the crime, Mabel comes home to find her father attacking Cess. The details are devastating. He has been violent, threatening. Mabel witnesses him hurting the woman who is essentially her mother now. And she acts. She kills her father. She confesses this to us, her audience. After she is certain he is dead, she does something quietly heartbreaking. She covers Cess in her blue silk bathrobe. She tucks a pillow under her head. She smooths her hair. She refuses to let Cess be found undignified. These actions, tampering with the scene, look terrible in court. She knows it. She does it anyway. Then she goes to find Daphne, to say goodbye. She knows exactly what's coming. I'll be fine. Don't forget, I'm Mad Mabel. At 15 years old, Mabel Waller is convicted of murder, the youngest in Australian history. She is sent to a psychiatric facility, diagnosed with multiple personality disorder, what we'd now recognize as dissociative identity disorder. The court expert cites her childhood traumas, her mother and sister's deaths, her father's abuse as the cause. This is how she avoids prison and is instead held for 5 years before release. But here is the gut punch that the documentary team uncovers. The court was not wrong about the trauma, but the other personality they identified, it was Daphne. Daphne, funny, warm, magenta-wearing Daphne isn't real. She never was. She was the imaginary friend that a desperately lonely little girl conjured up as a child, who became so vivid and necessary that she stayed. An imagined companion who has been by Mabel's side for 7 decades, because she had no other. The scene where Mabel is asked whether Daphne is real is one of the most emotionally stunning in the novel. She doesn't quite say yes or no. Instead she says, like a character in a novel that continues to exist in your mind after you finish the book, she can't be simplified into real or not real. And then, in a completely unexpected reveal, there is something else Mabel gave birth to while incarcerated. A son. A boy with dark hair like his Greek father's. Tall for his age. The boy was quietly adopted by Ness and raised in Melbourne. Mabel, after her release, found work at Ness's home for war widows and unwed mothers. She kept her distance from most babies. I'm not maternal, not in the way some women are, but there was one boy she kept coming back to. A quiet boy she'd read to, sit with. She followed him from a distance his whole life. That boy is Peter. Peter at number 1 Kenny Lane. Peter who waves to her every morning from his porch. Peter who tries to sell her coffee machines and heads to Aldi every week. The man she has a secret room full of photographs of. A shrine she finally boxes up and puts away because it's time to let go of fantasy. Before his mother nest died, Peter had been asked to look after Mabel. He promised he would, not knowing why. When the documentary goes viral and the truth comes out, Peter confronts Mabel as she's about to sell her home and move away. She thinks she's protecting the street. He won't let her go. He calls her mum. 66 years of secret motherhood. A son she watched grow up from the shadows. And now, at the end of both their lives, this, arms around each other, neither willing to let go. Back in the present, two young documentary filmmakers, Libby and Nadeem, have found Mabel and ask her to tell her story on camera. She agrees. The result is Magnificent Mabel, a YouTube documentary that goes from 1.5 million views to 7.5 million in a week, and eventually further still. The public response is overwhelming. Flowers start arriving at her door. Daisies, freesias, hydrangeas, a hand-painted sign, "Nothing mad about Mabel." A banner pulled through the sky by a small aircraft reads, "Forgive US, Mabel." Meanwhile, the subplot involving Roxanne and her violent ex, Shane, crescendos. Shane has been lurking, threatening. He mentions Persephone, which is new. He doesn't want the child. He wants to hurt Roxanne through her. At 1 a.m., Mabel wakes to the sound of breaking glass. Through her curtains, she sees Shane on Roxanne's porch. He has Persephone, limp, unconscious, in his arms. The window behind them is shattered. Elsie moves faster than she has in years. She confronts Shane in the street, in the dark in her nightgown. Nugget, the chihuahua she's been feuding with for years, barks beside her. Shane has a gun. He slurs threats. And Mabel Waller, 81 years old, arthritic, and terrifying, looks him dead in the eye and tells him exactly who Persephone is. Not a weapon. Not a tool for revenge. A human being that people love. Persephone, absolutely the most Persephone thing she could possibly do, bites him on the arm hard enough to leave a full ring of teeth marks. Shane raises the gun at the child. Mabel lunges. The gun goes off. She wakes to Persephone, Roxanne, Peter, Joan, all calling her name. She doesn't survive. The epilogue unfolds through a newspaper article. The toxicology report on Ashan comes back, lethal vitamin overdose. Natural causes. Mabel is posthumously exonerated. Rosehill, the estate she was legally precluded from inheriting due to the forfeiture rule, passes to her son Peter, worth in excess of 20 million Australian dollars. The final chapter belongs to Persephone. It's 3 months after Mabel's death. Persephone is sitting on the floor of her new bedroom. Mabel left money to Peter, who shared it with Roxanne, who can now afford a proper home, coloring with her new friend Daisy. Daisy is a plain-looking girl with oddly small teeth and magenta glasses. Daisy wears a magenta t-shirt with a bedazzled Eiffel Tower on the front. Persephone tells Daisy that she doesn't want to feel better. She doesn't want to stop grieving Mabel because she's afraid that healing means she no longer loves her. And Daisy says, "Balderdash, of course you love her." Then Persephone realizes she's not the only one who knew Mabel. "That's right," Daisy says. "Except when I knew her, she used to call me Daphne." Mabel's imaginary friend, her lifelong companion, has passed on not as a ghost, but as a gift, to the lonely little girl who needed her next. Mad Mabel is, as Mabel herself says in the prologue, a love story. Not a romantic one, but something rarer. It's about the kind of friendship that saves your life. The kind that you invent if you have to, because the alternative, surviving alone, is not surviving at all. Sally Hepworth wraps a gripping thriller around a deeply human question. Who gets to define whether someone is mad? Mabel was called mad for being odd, for having tragedies pile up around her, for refusing to be small. But she was the sanest person in the room. She simply had the bad luck of living in a world that punished her for it. The book also has extraordinary humor. Mabel's voice is dry and hilarious throughout. And the reveal about Daphne and Peter hit like a freight train both times. If you like this summary, subscribe and hit the bell. We do this every week with the best books out there. And if you've read Mad Mabel, let me know in the comments. Did you see the Daphne twist coming? I'll see you in the next one.